What's up everybody, welcome back to the Art of Crypto, the birthplace of absolutely legendary gains. In this video we are going to get into Ethereum and what is going to happen in the short term, what are the institutions doing, and if you want to figure out what the smart money is doing so that you can follow in their footsteps, you're going to want to watch this video to the end because I'm going to be giving you exact entries where to buy Ethereum. Is it going to go down? Is it going to go up? And right now, without any further ado, let's jump right into it, shall we? So to kick things off, we always have to start things off on the weekly chart at least, because without getting a sense of what's going on the macro level, it is impossible for us to trade the micro. So to kick things off, let me just mark down a few levels that you're going to want to pay attention to, and these are going to be what you call your weekly highs and lows. So in this case, you always want to do this with your charts, by the way, because the weekly levels are going to be like really important levels for you to pay attention to, and I'll get into why they are important in just a little bit. For now, we have to mark these out first. So right now, as you can see, I've already marked out some weekly levels. Basically, these are just weekly lows as well as weekly highs. Now, if you're ever going to want to understand what the institutions are doing, this is going to be your first step. This is something that you always want to do, and right now I'm going to get into why this is important. So to kick things off, let me explain why these are important. So for starters, these weekly levels are going to determine whether or not the asset that you're looking at, in this case it's going to be Ethereum, is in a bullish environment or is it in a bearish environment. So the way you look at this is basically, so notice how in this one move right here, we broke through 1, 2, and we found support at this weekly low, but it doesn't change the fact that we broke through 2 weekly levels in the exact same move. So this is what you call a bearish indication, because these weekly levels are supposed to provide, the price should bounce on these levels, but if you break through more than 2 weekly levels in the same move, then that indicates bearish or bullish. So in this case, notice how in this recovery right now, we have only broken to 1 weekly level and we have been rejected at this 2nd weekly level. And this is one of the reasons why I do not feel that Ethereum against the US dollar is particularly bullish, because we simply have not shown signs that we are bullish, although we might be about to, and I'm going to get into that, whether we're bullish or bearish. So now that you understand what's going on the macro level, let's dive into a lower time frame such as the 4 hourly so that we can get a better sense of what is going to happen next. So in this case, let's just draw your eyes to this line right here that we're getting rejected at, right? So there's basically 2 possibilities for Ethereum to take right now. One is the bearish possibility and the other is the bullish possibility. Well, duh, it's either going to go down or up, right? But which one is more likely? Let's discuss that. So the first concept that you have to understand when it comes to institutional trading is that institutions will always move the markets to an area where there is a high amount of liquidity. So in this case, I'm going to actually give you an example to visualize what I'm saying. So for example, if you just look at this line right here, where Ethereum came up, right, to find resistance at this level, and that is what basically most retail is going to think about this level. Well, hey, price came up to find resistance, but here's how you're going to want to think if you're trying to understand this from an institutional perspective. Because if you get so many people, right, if the price gets rejected off of this level so many times, what is going to end up happening is the next time the price comes up to this level, people are going to think, hey, this level is pretty strong resistance, so why not short it? And if you short it at this level, where would you realistically set your stop loss? I would assume right above this level, because it's been shown to be pretty strong resistance. And so what's going to end up happening is everyone is setting their stop loss here, and imagine, right, if you're shorting, your stop loss is going to be a buy stop, and if you're buying, guess who's selling? That's right, institutions. So what ends up happening a lot of the time, right, for example at this level right here where price came down to find support, what the institutions are going to think is the next time this happens, they're going to be like, yo, this level has been pretty good support, so let's go long there. And you do, and you set your stop loss right below, and guess what happens, right? The institutions take you out, and that's why you saw this massive candle down, right? This was caused by mass liquidations. So it is important to understand what institutions are doing so that you don't have to fight against them. Right, these people are playing with hundreds of millions of dollars, and there is no way you as a retail trader is going to win against them, right? So if you can't beat them, you join them. So in the other case, you could also argue that right below this level at 1726, there is a lot of liquidity right down here as well, because people who went long are probably going to set your stop loss right below here. And if I bring up the VPVR indicator, you can see that, you know, that is not necessarily the case, right? If I just zoom out a little bit, you can see that, yeah, there is indeed a lot of liquidity concentrated around this area. So now that you understand what the institutions are looking out for, let's discuss the entries, because I'm sure that that's what every one of you watching this video right now came here for, right? To find out what Ethereum is going to do next and how to trade it. So to kick things off, right now we have one zone of very high liquidity above here, and we also have order blocks right down here. And basically what order blocks are is you want to look for these massive moves, right, that happened. And then you want to look for, so for example, in this massive bearish move downwards, right? And by the way, this is not caused by retail. This is institutional doing. They are the only ones who have the ability to push the market down that hard, that quickly. So that is a sign that institutions are getting involved. In fact, if you just turn on the volume, you can see even more footprints of institutional activity. Because the money that they are playing with is so large, whenever they take an order, right, you're going to see the spikes in volume. And basically, you know, that's another telltale sign that institutions are getting involved here. Notice how when the price reached, right, when the price was nearing this level, you saw that the volume was still doing okay. And then when the price neared that level, you see the volume immediately have a massive spike up. And why do you think that is? The institutions know that you have set your stop loss right below here, and they want to push it down to stop you out, because they don't want you to win. But I'm getting a little bit sidetracked there. It's just a little tidbit of information. So what do I expect from Ethereum right now? Oh, right, I was talking about order blocks. So in this bearish move downwards, right, you want to look at the last bullish candle that started all of this. And that is going to be your bearish order block. So in this case, this last bullish candle here, that is an order block right there. So this is a level that you're going to want to mark out, because this is going to be key for Ethereum. Basically, this range between 2580 and 2650 is going to be an area where you are looking for Ethereum to get rejected by. And trust me when I say, if the price does get to here, you're going to get rejected, right? If you watched this video earlier, mark down these levels and just pay attention to these levels. This is what you call an order block, and this is an area where institutions will look to get involved. So in this bullish case, where is that order block? In my case, based on my eye, the first order block would actually be right here at about 1852. So notice how this massive move up started with this last bearish candle right here. So the high of the candle, that is going to be your, like, the beginning of your order block, and the end of the candle is going to be the end of your order block. So basically, if you manage to get Ethereum in either of these two levels, it's going to be absolutely brilliant. And you're probably going to see Ethereum, you know, just come dip down here a little bit and then pump. And if the market conditions are bullish, if the whales decide that they want Ethereum to be bullish, then they are going to push the price up until it reaches this point right here. So right now, I'm going to foresee, right, of course, nothing's absolute in trading. I'm just simply making a prediction here. But if the price does come down here, you're going to see a nice little bounce where we come back up to here. And then we actually break above this level, because that's where a lot of liquidity is. And then we go straight up to either this level right here at about 2460, or we go straight up into the order block. So if you do manage to get Ethereum at this level, this is going to be a straight up like 40% trade, right? Even if it isn't 40%, it is at least a 22% trade. So you're going to want to keep an eye out for this level right here at 1852 to about 1805-ish. Right, I'm going to move this level just a little bit, right, 1810 actually. So again, right now I'm giving you the exact levels that you should be paying attention to. So if you can't even be bothered to mark down these levels yourself, then there is nothing more that I can do for you. And just to give you just a little bit of proof that I know what I'm talking about, if you just go back to my Twitter, and by the way, my Twitter at _the_art_of_crypto, this is where I'm sharing like daily profitable trading setups, and I'm giving you guys updates on the market in real time. So if you're interested in that, you're going to want to follow me on Twitter. So if you just go back on my Twitter, you'll notice that I have sniped many entries, and I was doing these with a institutional trading concept. So just so you know that I'm not pulling this stuff out of my eye, that's just a little bit of proof. So right now, there's two things that can happen. If Ethereum, right, so again, this is your bullish possibility, right? So this is where you want to be buying Ethereum at. But what about what's going to happen to Ethereum next? And you're going to want to pay attention to this level at 2069 to about 2062, right? This is going to be the level that you're going to want to pay attention to, because if you just take a look over here, notice how this candle, right, the low of this candle is actually lower than the two candles next to it. So this is what you call a swing low. And similarly, this candle right here is a swing high, because the high of this candle is taller than the two candles right next to it. So basically, this is going to be a level you want to pay attention to, because if Ethereum were to break this level, right, if it were to break this level, then market structure would have been broken, right, on a higher time frame. This is the 4 hourly right now. So technically, you could consider this a higher time frame. So if you do get this break of structure, then expect Ethereum to actually drop at least down to $2,000. And this is going to be straight up like a 3% drop. Well, I know it doesn't sound like much, but if you're shorting and you're going on, let's say 10 to 20x leverage, that's at least 30% to 60% profit right there. So that's going to be your entry number 1, right? Or number 2 if you count this as an entry. So entry number 2 is if you get a break of Ethereum right below 2063, then you're going to want to take a short to Ethereum and you'll take profit targets, right? Let me just mark this down on the chart. This is going to be your TP1, right? I'm just going to write TP. This is going to be your TP1 and this is going to be your TP2. So if you combine both of these, so from this level, right, if you get the break here, this is going to be firstly a 3% drop and then it's going to be a 10% drop. So if you're on 10x or 20x, this is a pretty good trade to take. But of course, leverage smartly. Don't put in your entire account in leverage. That's like a one-way ticket to wreck city. So don't do that. So let's discuss the bullish possibility, because over at this channel, we are grand strategists. We do not simply be biased towards any single direction, and we consider every scenario. And in the bullish case, you're actually going to want to see Ethereum hold this level at 2060, because if it does hold, that means that this higher low, higher high formation is still intact. And if it does hold this level, then you can actually expect Ethereum to break above this level at 2260, or rather 2256. And the take profit target, right, for like if Ethereum holds this level, you can actually go for a long. Just make sure you set your stop loss fairly tight, right? And you know, I know what I said about institutions hunting out liquidity just now, but I would rather you get stopped out with a small loss rather than hold bags all the way down here. I mean, if you're willing to, go for it, but I wouldn't suggest it. So if Ethereum holds this level, you're going to want to buy Ethereum at this level, right? Because quote unquote is strong support. And so if it does really hold this level, expect it to come back up to 2251. So this is right here a 10% trade. And if you get a break above 2251, right, this is going to be your entry number 3 or entry number 4. I haven't been keeping track, right? If Ethereum doesn't come back down to this level and, you know, Ethereum just pumps from here, now, what you're going to want to look out for is, again, we want to pay attention to this 2256 level, because it is a weekly level and it is a very significant level. You're going to want to pay attention, right? You want to see this kind of thing happen, right? Firstly, the breakout, right? You want to see a break above this level where you can, you know, enter along with the breakout. So this is going to be your entry number 3, I believe. And then your best entry, right? The best bullish entry is actually going for the price to break above this level and then come back down for a retest. Now, this is what you call a bullish retest, and if you do get this entry, it's going to be very safe, because you can just set your stop loss right below this level, and you know, there's a saying that previous resistance becomes future support. So if you do get this, the chances are Ethereum is not going to break below this level and stop you out. But if you get stopped out, so what? A lot of traders are wrong about half the time, and the reason why there are so many traders that are still successful is because they manage their risk and no single loss is able to blow up their account, and that is how you become successful over time. Right, it's not about the big wins, it's about the small losses. It's about the small wins that add up over time and snowball absolutely massively. So just keep that in mind, right? This is not a get rich quick game. And if you're interested to speed up this process of learning how to trade and doing it profitably, then you're going to want to check out the private Discord group, where not only are we calling daily, and I'm talking daily, profitable trading setups, where literally so many people in this group have made money like pretty much consistently every day. Look at all these profits. Now, I know I sound like some con man right now, just showing you guys the profits, but honestly, I would even suggest you coming into this group not for the calls, not for the profitable trading setups, but if you are serious about doing trading for a career, then you're going to want to join this group to get access to this world-class trading education, where I pretty much guarantee if you take it and if you go through all the content in there, you will build such a good foundation for your trading career that there is a good chance that you're going to become a proficient trader from then on. So for real guys, the membership pays itself off real quick. Even if it's not in gains, it's going to pay itself off in the knowledge that you acquire. Right now though, I've already closed the monthly signups because there's already about 200 members in the Discord group, as you can see, where, I was saying before that I want to give focused attention to every single member in the Discord group, and I cannot do that if there are too many people. So right now, the only ones that are open is the semi-annual, annual, and lifetime. And what can I say? This Discord group is really going to pay itself off real quick. There's so many members in this group that have already paid off their membership in like a few trades. I really look forward to seeing you in the Discord group, and trust me when I say it's going to pay itself off real quick. So again, these are going to be the levels that you're going to want to mark out, and if you do break above this level, right, the take profit targets is going to be 2460 as well as 2580. This is going to be your profit targets, and expect Ethereum to get there if it breaks above this level. In fact, I am actually going to add another level at 2412 because over here is a bearish order block, because notice how this massive move downwards actually started, right? Actually started with this last bullish candle right here. So expect this range as well as this range to act as very good resistance for Ethereum. And again, this is like entry number 5 right now, and we are literally thinking ahead days right now. And if the price does come into this range and you see a sharp little rejection off of this range, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to short Ethereum actually, because these levels are going to be good areas to short. Now remember, the market will always want to return to an area of liquidity, and order blocks are simply, areas of untapped liquidity, which means even though you see Ethereum like right here, it looks strong, right? It looks strong, but because there is areas of untapped liquidity back down here, don't be surprised if you see institutions purposely push the price of Ethereum down to this level before going higher, or maybe even this level before going higher. This stuff happens all the time. And again, if you just go on my Twitter, you can see that I have been sniping entries left and right, and if you want access to that, you're going to want to check out the private Discord group. It's going to pay itself off real quick. So don't be surprised if institutions does this, but at least right now, if you watch until this point on, you're already ahead of like 99% of other people, because nobody, I bet, right, not a lot of people know about this institutional trading concept, and they sure as hell do not know what Ethereum is going to do next in terms of an institutional level. So if you watch until this point right now, I want you to comment down in the comment section 99%, because trust me, if you continue to keep this up, you are going to be successful in just a matter of time, right? It's just a matter of time. It's not about whether or not you will be successful. You will. It is only a matter of when. So with that said, if you're interested to speed up your learning curve and get access to really highly accurate snipes, you're going to want to check out the private Discord group. And as usual, may the gains be with you, my friend. Peace.